Just, are we live?
We are live. So I'm going to start it here. Hi, welcome, guys. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining me tonight for the first ever Bold Move Roundtable. And I'm super excited to have all these beautiful women with me tonight and what we're going to talk about. Excuse me. But I'm excited because this is for me. We were just having a backstage conversation and we're talking about welcome back. And I think that welcome back kind of fits for each and every one of the ladies that's on this platform today. They are pivotal in their communities. And I think tonight is a relaunching for each of us as they've done so many things before. And we're coming back to getting back into our purpose of where we're going to. So I'm super excited that you guys joined us tonight, whether you're joining us via Facebook. While you're here, share, share, share. If you're joining us via YouTube, make sure you're sharing from there as well. I'm just excited about what tonight's going to do because I know that these ladies have some powerful testimonies and powerful things to say. So I'm looking forward to it. And if you are here with me and you are wants to just get in on this conversation too, make sure that you're chatting in the comments. Make sure that you let us know that you're here. Say hello to us so that we can definitely say hello to you. But I'm super excited to get started. Are you ladies ready?
We are ready.
Ready.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
So good evening, everyone. I just want to start by welcoming you. I'm going to be reading some notes because tonight I do have some things that we're going to go through, particularly with each of the panelists here. And I want to make sure that I miss anything. And I want to make sure that I can introduce each person that's here as well. So I'm super excited about that. Tonight, I want to just welcome you here to the Bold Move Roundtable. I'm honored that you're here. Whether you were personally invited, whether you just decided this was something that you wanted to see for yourself, whether you were tagged in this to join us, this is the move that you should have made for tonight. And I'm happy that you did. Tonight is all about truth. It's about courage. It's about calling ourselves out so that we can call ourselves forward. We're not here to perform, and we're definitely here to be very real. These ladies, and I know for sure they are ready to go, are ready to talk about how they chose boldness and to show that growth happens if you really decide not to shrink to your fears and actually make a move. So that's what the move is all about. And I want to thank everyone that's tuning in and saying hello. We say hello back to you guys. So before we get started with the conversation, I want to tell you a little bit about the move and why it matters. So the move is my global fellowship that I'm launching. I wanted it to be a safe space. I wanted this to be a place for alignment. I wanted this to be a movement built for people who are going to do the work or wanting to do the work. And that work means healing, aligning, finding ways to be impactful. It was not about perfection for me, but it was about presence. How can we show up and not only just show up differently? How can I be my best version of myself, right? Greatest self. How can I be the best version of myself in this season of my life? And we do that with three words: align, impact, and elevate. So I wanted to create this space, and not only just this space, but this conversation that we're going to be having tonight, so that we can have extensions of these conversations with our mission about how to move, how to be more effective, how to align, how to walk in purpose, but doing that by being courageous and making bold steps, right? So this is a safe space. I want to make sure we set that tone. So we want you guys to ask questions. We want your feedback. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're thinking, right? This space is about real stories. These are real people with real stories. And I'm your host. My name is Janae, and I am excited to be able to be on stage with these ladies and to share with this roundtable tonight. But before we get into talking about the ladies, because I want to introduce you to them, make sure that you're sharing this live because somebody may need to. Somebody may be looking to make that next step in their lives. Somebody may be trying to figure out, how do I make a bold step, and how do I do it courageously? Make sure that you are telling all your friends to join in, and let's have a conversation about it tonight. And while you're thinking about that, I do have one question. And as this live goes on, I'm going to bring this question back because at the end of the live, I would love to see the comments of those who actually can answer the question. And that question is, what bold move do you need to make this year? What bold move do you need to make this year? No waiting, no more excuses, no more just writing it down on paper because we're good for things like that. I'm gonna write it down and I'm gonna put a plan together. We're planners. We can plan all day and every day. But what move do you actually need to make this year that is going to be courageous? So I can't wait to hear your stories. But until then, let me introduce you to the beautiful people that I have here with me on this platform tonight. This person is known as the repairer of the breach. She's a certified transformation coach, author, speaker, creative visionary. Though she's Atlanta based, she's originally from New York. And this founder is the founder of Gathering Discernment, which is a vibrant community that empowers women to redefine, reframe, and repurpose their life experiences. She's coming out with a book this fall, and I'm super excited for her. Her mission is very clear: to foster growth, encourage, comfort, and challenge women to fully rise in their purpose. I welcome to the table Miss Shay Wilson.
Hi, Shanae.
Hi, everyone. Great to be here.
I'm glad to have you. The next person I have is a multidimensional visionary, entrepreneur, and faith-driven leader. She is the founder and owner of Kingdom Scent, a holistic aromatherapy brand designed to create atmospheres of peace, alignment, and healing. She is also the founder of Wear Your Crown, an empowerment brand and lifestyle clothing movement dedicated to helping individuals, especially women, change their mindset and walk confidently in their identity. Wear Your Crown encourages people to think their highest thoughts and embrace the fullness of who they're called to be. A proud kingdom citizen, Natalie leads with faith, integrity, and purpose. I welcome to the table Miss Natalie Collier.
Thank you.
Hey,
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so
I'm
much for
happy
having
to
me.
have you. I'm
Thank
happy to have you.
you.
And don't forget, guys, as I'm introducing these ladies, make sure that you're shouting them out. If you're connected to them, shout yourself out. Let us know that you know them and support them. This next co-founder and of Greater Self and insurance mogul is none other than a devoted wife, an entrepreneur who has spent 12 years building her career in insurance, and she's currently a litigation examiner, while always answering God's call to uplift and to empower others. She blends business management and her psychology background to help in ministry and mentorship. She's the co-founder of Greater Self and is the coach who hosts transformative events and continually motivates. Her ebook, Becoming Greater, if y'all have not gotten it, check it out. Becoming Greater is shifting your mindset is available. So we want to make sure that everybody gets that access to.
Absolutely.
Okay. And if you're in the area, look up her annual vision boards. She's a native of home in Louisiana, teaches at Bossier Parish Community College, a mother, a wife, but still finds time to equip others both professionally and personally. I welcome to the table Miss Amy Young.
Hey, you guys.
Welcome,
I'm so
Amy.
excited to be here. We're going to have a good time. Thank you.
You too.
Thank
And last but definitely not least, this is the queen of digital marketing herself. She's a marketing strategist and founder for Right For You Media, a firm that's best known for helping women in wellness and service industries market smarter, not harder, not louder, as she says. I'm sorry. Her signature boost framework equips entrepreneurs to build their brands that are clear, client attracting, and deeply aligned with their purpose. She's the creator of the Black Women in Business Northwest Louisiana, all while her work bridges clarity with confidence, showing women how to fully show up without performing. She is here to remind us that comfort won't carry you to your next level, but clarity will. I welcome to the table Miss Chantel Douglas.
Hi, Chantel.
I'm super excited to have all of these individuals here with me because I know that this is going to be a grand time. Now, if you're just joining us, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure that you're sharing this, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook. Share, 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 and share some more. But I have just introduced our panel, and I also asked you a question. That question was, what big move do you need to do this year? So, all of my viewers who are listening and watching, I want you to think about that, because if you have not already put it in the chat, because I did see someone put something in the chat earlier, please make sure you answer that question. I want to know, what is the big move you need to make this year? And other than that, we're going to get started. Are you guys ready?
We are
Ready?
ready.
Yes, we're ready.
I want to open up the table now. This is going to be like our intro question that I just want us to talk about and fill out. In one word, what does boldness feel like to you in your life right now? Anyone can go.
In
Okay.
one word,
In one word, if you had to sum it up in one word, what does boldness feel like to you?
I say strength.
Okay. Anybody else? What you
One
got?
word is
one word is
crazy.
challenge. It's crazy word, but for me, I'll say one word
Boldness
is non.
in your life right now.
It's
Just tell me what
non-negotiable.
it is
Is
right.
that two words? I said non-negotiable. I think that's one
Okay.
word. Can I do that?
Non-negotiable.
Okay, it's non-negotiable at this point.
Okay. And if you just had to explain it, my others, if you would have to explain it, what does it look like for you? Like Amy, Marsha.
Right.
I would say for me, boldness looks like movement. That's the one word for me. Just perseverance, movement,
Yeah.
just pushing through obstacles, pushing through fear, inadequacies, just
Absolutely.
really pushing because that's really what it is. That's what it is for me. And I'll expound on it later when you ask additional questions.
Okay. Okay.
I really want to go with faith.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm gonna be honest. This season in my life, it means audacity. Just having the
Yes.
audacity to believe in myself, to be guided just in my faith, be rooted in who I really am. Just having the audacity to do what I want to do, how I want to do it, and leaning on God for all
Right.
understanding. That's where I am.
And that's those are
Absolutely.
the things. So we have strength, we have
Mm-hmm.
movement, non-negotiable, and just having the audacity. And I can agree with
Right.
each of those things, because starting the move for me was a non-negotiable. Like, it was an urgency for me to do something
Mm-hmm.
in my purpose, because I've saw myself come to the same cycles year after year. And at some point, same plus same, you're gonna render the same if there's no changes being made. And
Yeah.
so
Right.
I had to make a decision for myself to say, look, this is what I have to do. It's non-negotiable. It's an urgency for me to
Mm-hmm.
do it. And I guess you say it's an audacity thing too, because how dare I
Right.
not stand up for myself as I've done for
Right.
everyone else? And that's the
Absolutely.
season we're all in. So I think those all are good words. Like, we have to have the strength to keep
Mm-hmm.
pushing, and at this point move, because we get so stagnant in the beginnings and the writing the vision. We're so stuck there. We'll write the vision and we'll definitely make it plain, but we do nothing after that. What's the
Right.
next part? What's the next movement? How do you keep going? How do you keep persevering when you don't understand? How do you keep moving
Mm-hmm.
when you're supposed to do what you're called to do? So
Right.
I'm already loving it.
Right.
I think it's gonna be good. So we're gonna
Absolutely.
go ahead and throw it out there. So the questions are broken up into different topics. The first topic
Okay.
we're gonna go through is called the bold moves. And I want you guys to tell me, what was the boldest move that you made in your life and what pushed you to do it? What
Um.
was the boldest move and what pushed you to do it?
For me, it was definitely when I met my apostle, Stephen Newton. I hope his name is Apostle Newton, and he really challenged my thinking, which pushed me to think differently from my family, which now you're left kind of alone in your faith because your family's beliefs and your core beliefs don't align anymore. And you really have to stand on what you know is true, even though your family, you've been brought up differently from what your family has taught you. And you have to say and really, put your foot down and be firm and be non negotiable. And like, this is what I believe. That's not even what I believe, this is what I know to be true. This is in my core. And even though I was brought up a certain way, to have to really transform and shift the entire mindset, entire belief system in front of their eyes was very challenging, but I knew I had to do it.
And that's good. That's good. So when you look back on it, would you say that those were necessary steps for you to take?
Absolutely, because now my family comes to me with questions and they come to me with things that they was like, you know what, I don't think this is right, and I don't think, yeah, it wasn't right, and it's no one's fault, it's no one to blame. It's just that there are some things that we were taught that were not aligned to what is really the truth, and for me, it was just coming back into alignment, and just that was a very bold move for me that I still stand on to this day. And a lot of people don't agree with it, but it's okay. I believe it, and I stand on it, and I know that um it had to be done for the next generations, and for it was for people who like maybe need to see something else and they didn't have an opportunity to see it. Maybe it has to be done through someone like me or like you or like us. So it was definitely a bold move, but it was necessary, non-negotiable.
I'll take it.
That's good. For me, it was being courageous. So I'm confident in who God called me to be and my gifts and the things that I'm able to do. And this year, it was like, okay, Chanel, it's not okay to no longer lay back and play second fiddle. I always said I'm the best number two you can ever have, because I was always afraid to be number one, to be in the front. And I've been like this since I've been a child. I've always just like withdrew from center stage. And God said, no more. I've been calling you, I've been calling you, I've been calling you. And just life and the things that I've endured, the things that I've gone through, I was kind of forced and pushed into the area where I had to come forward and I had to come forth. And so the thing that for me is about just being courageous, saying, you know what, I'm confident, I know, but now I have to step out on what I know. Now I have to push myself, push past the limiting beliefs, the fear, the negative self doubt, the negative conversation that I have about myself, and say that I am more than enough. I am more than a conqueror, because that's what the word says. And so I have to be able to step into who and what God called me to be and no longer play number two. So
That's
that's what it is for me.
Absolutely correct.
that's good. What about you?
When I saw this question, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I'm just gonna come to you.
No, okay, cool. Because when I saw this question, I was gonna go with the typical cliche answer. I made a bold move when I decided to really work on my business after becoming a mom. Then I got real with myself, and I really just took inventory of where I was at in my life presently. And I know for me, um, I guess it's a little bit of that people pleasing that we tend to have as Black women, and that um, over giving, overextending ourselves. I have been guilty of that for some time. And since 2023, I have been having situations over and over again show me that I need to stop this, and I need to set myself apart from the status quo of how many in our community live their whole lives and
Hmm.
really do the thing in power and boldness. So for me, it was basically making that decision within myself. I simply decided to stop doing it. And I decided to
Hmm.
position myself personally and business wise in a way that that cycle was ending.
Yeah,
And when you do that, it can be offensive to other people who are stuck in that cycle of
absolutely.
basically dysfunction, running off dysfunction, unhealthy relationships, partnerships, and business is not cool. So, and the goals that I have for the vision that I see for my future, I couldn't continue in no way. So I had to restructure my business boundaries, my personal life boundaries, systems in place, strategy in place to where I can consistently stand firm in it. And I don't have no problem going through the discomfort of change. I'm privy to change. I've gone through many, many changes this past decade of my life. I really want to write a book. I used to say, if we make a movie of my life, Jill Scott will play me, because I know she's going to do a good job with all the drama that I've been through. But I really felt that it was pivotal for me, being a mama of future Black men. I don't have no time to be no pushover, to be nobody's rug to step on, or to be deemed as less than. So I have to position myself to be who I know I am so I can be treated as such. So that has been my most recent bold move and my most pivotal, I would say.
I like it. I love it. What about you, Amy? What's the one of the bold moves you made this year?
Um, I think that I've been making bold moves. I've been on a journey where I've done a lot of self reflection and correcting some things, like the little girl Amy that's try to creep in and question some of the decisions that I make and things like that.
Yeah.
And we all know, just being in corporate also, that'll make you kind of second guess yourself and your abilities also. So I've been on this journey where I think boldness for me has looked like doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Not always trying to be perfect and chasing perfection, but showing up just as my authentic self. And that's imperfected. That's allowing God to really order my steps, because that's exactly what's been going on here. I no longer, it may be because I'm pushing 40, I no longer care what other people think as much anymore. I just show up and do what I supposed to do and what God had led me to do, and that's with greater self. And that's just showing that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have this long, drawn out plan, but you have to be able to do some self reflection and do the work you need to move forward. So I am a champion or a cheerleader for what I'm teaching. So just showing up when you hear the no's, when you feel the rejection, but doing it anyway, and doing it the way that only you can do it, and create your own lane, and do not be distracted by what others are doing or what you think you're supposed to be doing at that season. Just going with the flow. So that's what boldness looked like for me in that season, just showing up, being myself. And it's been a journey where I have my family surrounded, with love and support. So that's what boldness is, just doing it anyway.
I
Doing
know.
it anyway.
And it's so good you said that too, just to show up. And it also kind of goes into what Chantel said. And that's the thing, that's the journey I've been on. And that's that conversation about dysfunctional normals, how we've normalized dysfunction so much so that we have allowed it to become our everyday life. And like you said, that self-reflection of now, let me see myself, let me deal with that childhood Janae that still wants to not do what she should be doing or moving how she should because she feels still broken on things that you no longer have no control over. And releasing that control to say, look, I continue to give so much of the old me power that I can't even understand what the new me is trying to become. And so, like you said, Amy, that's self reflection. But at the same time, Chantel saying too, like, let's check our dysfunctions.
Hmm.
What are some of our own blockers that stopped us from making a bold move that we said we were going to make 20 years ago, but we're still here saying I'm going to make that same bold move? And how do you incorporate? And so that's a question I want to off topic ask, because Amy, you brought that to me. You said this is what I live daily. How do I show up daily, even when I don't want to feel like it? Even when it doesn't make sense to me, I don't even have the full blueprint of what I'm supposed to be doing. How do I still show up? And so, in your lives currently, I know, I mean, that's your daily motto. But for the other women on the roster, how do you show up in spite of? Like, what does that look like for you?
Well, for
My
me,
life is not where I know it should be. That's how I continue to show up how I need to. I wake up every day
Right.
and I say, "Look, this not the vision.
This
I
ain't
got to keep
it.
going. I can't accept nothing other than keep going until I
Right.
see what I saw when I saw it."
That's true. Oh,
Absolutely.
okay.
yeah, I think
Absolutely.
coupled with that for me has been building really good habits, as
Hmm.
well as having really good people around me as far as
Hmm.
accountability. I think that once you cast vision, you speak life about what it is that you want to do. You want to make sure that you have individuals around you that can help hold you accountable to ensure that you are doing the necessary work in order to reach that place. And
Nice.
so I think that, well, in my life, that's what has had to happen. So I had to kind of take a few steps back and look at how I was approaching it. Like I mentioned before, limiting beliefs and just my mindset.
Hmm.
Why is it that I haven't moved forward? Okay, some things are out of my control. Some things I wasn't able to because of the way my life makeup was, my family makeup. But some things absolutely was in my control as it relates to my thoughts. I had to first tackle my thoughts. Why did I think those negative thoughts about myself?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then begin to cast those down and replace them with, okay, Chanel, what can you do? What is it? What are your
Hmm.
strengths? And then Once I started doing that, I said, okay, now that I know what my strengths are, how can I build habits in order to continue to grow within those strengths or some additional strengths that I need in order to, within what I'm trying to do and where I'm moving and progressing. And so that's what it was for me. People, my accountability partners,
Yes.
building better habits, focusing on my inner healing and why and my own limiting beliefs, changing those things around.
And I
That's
like
what it was for me.
I like that. And I'm like you too, Chantel. It was for me, I don't want to see this cycle again. At some point the cycle has to end. And that ends with me because it's a decision. Like I think that was said earlier. It's my decision. Once I make a decision that I'm going to show up, or I make a decision that I don't want to keep going back to 2024 me or 2021 me because I've seen it in my life. I've settled with myself enough and to spend time with myself because that's something we also have to do. Get into time with self because if you don't go and do a deep dive of your own life, like you said, sit down and say, like, okay, I do it every year for my birthday. At some point, it had began to be very hard on myself because I'm very pushed. Like I have to push. I need to push. But it was like, let's take accountability for your last year. What did you do last year that pushed you toward the goal, toward the vision? What did you do last year that made you aware that, hey, okay, we made some baby steps? Because I do believe that slow progress is still progress, no matter how slow it is. It still ends. It goes to the end goal. So what is it that I'm doing currently? Did I do anything last year, or did I just take last year and just let it go with the wind and miss the mark of coming to this place of being on purpose? So I love all of those answers, and I thank each and every one of you for that. Which
Can
now,
I add something too? I want to add something else to that
yeah,
because what you said was really good, and I love that Chantel was saying that as well. I think it is equally important to give ourselves a break. Like you said, better is better. Sometimes we reach for that pie in the sky, and
Mhm.
you have to. It's steps. There are steps. Like I said, you have to, and that's why I was saying back to pulling back and first starting from the foundational place. What do I think about myself? How do I see myself?
yes,
And then like so it's multiple things that are
Mhm.
happening at the same time. But I think
Yeah.
that, like I said, sometimes I know for me it's always been like, okay, I wanted to do this, and then when I missed the mark I would beat myself up
hmm,
but that's because I wasn't building those habits. I wasn't taking
Right.
care of the things on a very foundational level that I needed to handle in order to
Mhm.
be able to chop to that bigger goal.
yeah,
So I think that
One.
people, we
Absolutely.
all need to say, okay, maybe I didn't, write the whole book by the deadline, but I was able to complete two chapters, and I can't say
Mhm.
that I was able to do that before. I was
yeah,
able to
Yeah.
complete some level, some portion, and celebrate those small victories along the journey. The journey is
Absolutely.
everything. The journey is everything. And so we have to learn to take time and take moments to celebrate ourselves as we are seeing that we are making progress.
true. Which I
And what
think,
1%
Percent every
oh,
day
go
adds
ahead.
up.
No, I
I
think,
mean,
go
one
ahead.
percent every day adds up. So I think I like what you're saying. Just that I don't think we give ourselves enough credit when we're doing small things because in the grand scheme of things, it looks like, oh, I only did this, but at the end of 30 days, like she said, you've written two chapters and you've done things and you're getting results. And I thought I've learned to give myself credit for that 1% or those small decisions and those small choices that I make every day to advance myself when I didn't used to do that. So
That's
so that's a good, I like how she said that.
and Amy. I heard you. I think I heard you chime in too.
Yeah, I was just going to add, I appreciated what she was saying too. And a lot of times, what I have learned is give yourself some grace. I think a lot of time, especially as African American women, we have goals and we just kind of chop at them and we just focus just at the end of the road. But also just taking time to give yourself grace, whether it
Yeah.
is going on some solo days or doing some self care things like that, because you have to learn to really appreciate who you are because this journey it gets so hard sometimes, and if you're not aligned with who you are, you kind of drift away also.
Hmm.
One
Hmm.
of the ways that I have built just a bold mindset is also remember the why. Courage needs a purpose, so just making sure I understand and know my purpose and surrounding myself, like I mentioned before, my family and my close friends, surrounding myself with bold women because my circle determines my ceiling. So you have to make sure you have those that's going to push you. It's okay to motivate others, your friend circles and your circle like that, but also you need that, also those people to pour back into you. So just building the confidence and also just remembering the why behind it, but also, just showing up and being bold in who you are.
And that is so good because we really do not understand what it is to have support. And I think that's another reason why, not think, that is another reason why I created the move. Because I had too many conversations with too many people who said I would have had I had support. I could have if someone could have supported me. I should have. And so that's one of the things that as we're growing the move that I want to have just an accountability team. And it's nothing but to hold you accountable to what you said. This is what you said you wanted to do, whether it's even in the times of learning how to reward yourself in so much work, like the down times, how to reward yourself, but holding you accountable to don't wait for your friends to get their money together. Take the trip.
Yeah.
Don't
That
don't
part.
don't decide that you want to go out to eat.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go sit in that restaurant alone.
Table
What
for one.
what is it looking like for you to shift your life,
Hmm.
set yourself on a better journey to growing, to healing? Because a lot of it also stems from things we need to heal from. We don't move because we haven't healed yet. Let's heal. And so sometimes healing does mean taking a step back. Sometimes it does
Yeah.
mean I need to spend some time with myself. I need to talk to myself, take myself out. And if you don't talk to yourself sometimes and don't answer yourself, I don't know what's going on because I do it on a daily basis. Sometimes I gotta check me. I can't. No one can check me but me. I
Yeah.
have to check my thoughts. I capture my thoughts. If they're negative, I have to tell myself, no, girl, that's not what we're thinking today. And so even spending we're so quick to spend intimate times in other relationships rather than intimate time with ourselves to understand what is it that you like? What are your values? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What do you want life to, that vision? What is life looking? What do you want it to look like for you? How do you want it to look like for you? But taking that time and spending time with God, because that's also understand and say, okay, God, now I know what I see, but what is it that you see of me? And now I have this connection with you to say, I want to mirror my life to look like what you said that I'm supposed to be. That's why I wanted to create the movie.
Yeah.
And you guys are giving so much good gems. I cannot wait to go to this replay just to pull some of those things out. But I think this conversation also moves me to my next question. Did you ever feel like you weren't qualified to make a move that you've been called to make? At some point in your journey, did you ever feel like, I don't, maybe this isn't my journey. Maybe this is not what I'm called to do. If so, how did you handle that?
I
And
would say yes for
I'm gonna
sure.
let's start with Natalie first, and then we'll go around Natalie and go back up. We'll do Natalie, Amy, Shay, and Chantel.
I absolutely felt that way because I felt like the things that I was seeing and hearing from God, they weren't really what I saw growing up. They wasn't really trending. It didn't look like, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be doing this because no one around me is doing this. So why am I supposed to be doing it? So clearly I'm not, this is wrong. I'm not qualified for this. Clearly I'm not the one that is supposed to be doing this because I can only see what was around me. So for me to have to deviate to something that doesn't look like anything, that's not trending, that doesn't feel popular, that doesn't look popular, it kind of really put me in a place where I felt very inadequate and I didn't know how to move or make the move. And then when I started to make the move, I was doing it out of just what I thought it was supposed to look like. And God was like, well, like flag on the play, like this is purpose led. This is very official. This is very, you're building things that are not just for people. These are things that are healing for people. These are things that people, you may just think it's just something, oh, it's this and that, but it's really a deeper purpose to what this is for you. It's called kingdom sense. So there's more to this business than just what you put into it. And so for me to have to sit back and feel and now rebrand and really understand the purpose of my business, it took it at some points I did feel very inadequate because I was felt like, why is it me that has to do this? But now I just understand, like you say, I'm moving different, so I know that I just trust the vision more. I trust myself more because the more movement you put into it, you do get to, you feel more comfortable and things do become more visible and you do get more clarity and it becomes easier. But until you move into it, you're not going to understand that purpose is not present. You really have to like get to certain parts of the purpose before you can really see, oh, this is what it is. But if you don't ever make the move initially, you won't get there. You'll never really know.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. What about you, Amy? Like, did you ever feel like this journey you were not qualified to be making the moves you make, but you made them, and what made you get over that thought process?
Absolutely. So I went through a season, we have different seasons in life, and one season of my life was rejection. I don't know why, but even in my corporate career, it felt like in my business, friendships, I was in a season of rejection. And at first, when you're going through something, you're like, God, what's going on? You don't know what. It's just like everything hitting you. And I promise you now, it's very clear that I needed that season of rejection to, first of all, teach it to other people how to overcome it, but also just to experience because I can know who I am. So first of all, like I always been a type to say, hey, failure is not failure unless you stop trying. Whenever you're failing and you start to experience rejection, you don't just your mindset just don't go there, right? Life has to
Mhm.
have to really teach you that. And one of the things that helped me is just to understand that rejection, it isn't a reflection of my worth. So when I'm hearing the no, hey, I'm sorry to inform you, and all that stuff, or when you hosting these events and you're not getting the response that you think that you should have gotten, or with all the hard work that you put in, it's just not a reflection of your worth. You just have to go and redefine yourself, get back up and keep trying. So what one thing that I have learned through a season of rejection is just being consistent.
Ooh,
If you're called for a purpose, you have to be consistent in that purpose, and everything happens for a reason. And also, I guess I can just share. I had to learn that every room is not meant to
yeah,
hold space for me.
say that.
So,
Oh,
sometimes we
true.
want to say
What you say,
yes
do the
to
snap?
every yes. Sometimes
Snaps.
you want to, be in every space and you're so eager to share and to connect, but sometimes that's just not the atmosphere for your gift. And that's okay too, because God will align you in the right rooms. And if you want to just get extra sweet on it, child, your name will be in rooms that you ain't even in. That's
That,
how good God is and how alignment
yeah.
is.
And
So mhm,
that's so true. Before you move forward, because to go back to something you even said,
mhm,
that consistency in the midst of rejection, that to learn to be consistent when you're still getting the no's. To
yeah,
learn to be consistent when, like you said, they don't show up and you spent the money, you spent the hours, the time, the
yeah,
research, and you saying, well, but God, you said to do this. Why am I not seeing the fruit of it? And to be transparent, that was me here.
yeah,
Because I told God, I was like, okay, God said do it. And I was like, to do it. He said, start this group. I started the move back in January. We're in July. And I was like, okay, I started it, but who's going to come? He said, I'm going to
Right.
give you the people. I'm going to show you. But do you trust what I'm showing you? If
yeah,
I feed it to you in baby steps, are you going to still walk with me as I'm giving it to you? That some people may not respond to you the way you think they should. And for 2 months, he gave me the people. I brought them in, no movement. And I said, but God, you said this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm gonna let this go. Are you serious? And he said, but you're not being consistent. That's the
yeah,
problem I have with you. I call you to a place, and I call you to be consistent in this place, despite what you feel like, despite what you see, and you can't show up like that. How much more do you want me to show up for you?
yeah,
And I had to take that hard truth. I'm like, okay, so let me call these people right now. Send this message. Hey, Amy. I'm doing. Hey, Sean. Hey, Shay. Hey, Natalie. Are you guys willing to join? And first, guys, I want to take a pause right here and say thank you to these ladies because it's crazy relationships for each and every. I mean, my cousin, that's a different story, but it's crazy relationships that brought me in each of these women's lives, and for them to just say yes, that their yes gave me everything I needed in this season. Because they could have easily said, "No, I have other things to do. I don't have the time." I'm sure that they're
Yeah.
busy women, But the fact that they decided to show up here today, I am forever grateful and I'm forever thankful that they did. And they are blessing me whether they know it or not. So I just want to say thank you here. This is little pause break. But like she said, and Amy, I want you to even, if you have even anything else on your heart too, to share that regarding that too. But you spoke something to me when you say the consistency in the midst of rejection, because I think we
Yeah.
all are dealing with rejection in
Oh
some
Yeah.
yeah.
form of life. And how we show up in the rejection is how it matters the most.
Yeah. And just to piggyback on that, boldness show up anyway. So if that's who we are and that's what we standing on, even when we're tired, and I mean, we women, we wear so many hats. I always say that. Even when we tired and we down ourselves and we feel unseen, that's why my word was the audacity. I still show up. I still show up as a speaker. It's been many a time we all probably deal with, that type of syndromes where we just kind of like, why me? Why are they asking me, to do this or do that? But why not me? If why can't I go talk about rejection when I had a season of rejection? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, I just show up. I show up not perfect. I always ask, God to just be a voice and use me. So just, in the season of rejection, in the season of fear, the season of doubt, you show up anyway. You're given the assignment and you do it. So
I
that's
think
my
that's
spiel
greatest
on it.
stuff. We should make a shirt for greatest stuff. Show up anyway.
Yeah, we should.
So Shay, what about you? Like, what do you have you ever felt unqualified? And I'm gonna just say that Shay, that this is definitely the topic because she just said you show up with that syndrome, that word we was talking about, right? That imposter
Syndrome.
Imposter,
syndrome.
imposter,
Imposter
imposter
syndrome.
Imposter.
syndrome.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. It's we were talking earlier, and I was just letting her know that I was having a conversation with my son, and we were talking about my other son.
Mhm.
And I was just concerned about the fact that I was like, he's so gifted, he's so talented, and like he just has this natural favor that people are drawn to him. However, he just has this thing where it seems like he has this failure to launch, failure to step into all that he's people are identifying him to be. And so I was like, like, you know what that's about? Because I know they talk. And he was like, Mom, um, he told me he felt like he had imposter syndrome. And when he said it, it resonated with me. It was like the Holy Spirit said, ding, because when I thought about what imposter syndrome was, I said, I suffered from that as well. I have suffered from that as well. And I'm going to be the one to be able to help my son overcome that because I know what it's like to be in that space.
Yeah.
And so just dealing with imposter syndrome, self-doubt, even though you're having a level of success in a particular area, still feeling like you're not enough, you're feeling like you're inadequate, finding every excuse. And that goes, all of that ties back into those limiting beliefs and negative self-talk. And it really throughout our whole life, right? We have people that are saying different things. Oh, and for me in my personal life, it's been, oh, Chanel, you're from New York. You talk hard. You have, your voice is deep. You have, and so I took on all of that, saying, well, who am I? Who am I to talk? I don't want people to tell me what I'm not, or I'm not enough, or just all of those things. And God had to show me through His Word. I'm gonna just be what it is through His Word, and again back to those relationships, the people that you have around you that are speaking life in you. And He says, "You're fearfully and wonderfully made. I have called you, and I have justified you." And so when you learn in spaces and places that to trust God, you
Mhm.
learn. It's almost like I said, it's about the journey. It's like it's bits and pieces, just like with a mustard seed, just like the 30, 60, 100 fold. You start somewhere, and the more you practice it, like any habit and anything, your relationship with God, moving forward, taking steps, being bold, is the more confident in that you become. It grows naturally because that's what it's supposed to do. And so for me, showing up in spaces like this where I'm talking, this is yet another notch for me because I'm saying, Chanel, you are worthy. God has called you. You are justified. You have experience. You have something to say. God is giving you a word to be able to impart to people. Your life, your experience, everything did not happen because it just happened. It happened for a reason, and that is to pour into people. And so those things and reminding myself of who I am in God and what He's called me to be, as well as building those daily habits and speaking life over myself. All of those things just kind of work together.
Mhm.
As long as you're pouring into all of those things, they work together in order for you to be able to propel forward.
I love that. And I love that so much that you said that way. And even to to you, Chantel, you said earlier, when I looked at how much of a people pleaser I was and trying to help other people, did you ever feel like even during those moments you may have been disqualified to do, but you did it anyway? Or where was a time in your life that you feel like, you know what, I did feel disqualified, or maybe I wasn't didn't feel like I maybe I had the imposter syndrome or whatever that may be. How did you overcome that?
Uh, for me, it's really the fact that I really knew what I was called to do. I've always known my purpose. And when I started walking in it, it was just like I see people to the left and to the right having support, blocks of support. You know what I'm saying? I have a
Mhm.
very small support circle. My kids, my baby daddy, my parents, and internet support or whatever. But in real life, when it comes to the trenches, it's very tight. And for me, I had to get over that feeling of not
Mhm.
pretty much being accepted. So that did kind of make me feel away, but I still knew what my purpose was in the midst of all that. So every time, I have an idea to do something, I know it's going to come with a lot of mental stamina. It's going to come with a lot of encouraging myself and sticking to the plan. Um, because it's not always easy. It's not always so cut and dry. It's not always just show up and do the same. Sometimes you really have to, go through the the hurdles of the inadequate feelings, of the isolation, of the feeling like you're alone in this thing,
Mhm.
and really keep going in spite of. So I would definitely say basically the season of feeling isolated, feeling alone, feeling like nobody really understood me definitely helped me. Definitely was an inadequate, season for me. And even I tell people this all the time. I can connect people, and everybody will be connected and become best friends. But I'm still sitting here by myself. I know it's for a purpose, and I even joke about it. It's gonna be great when I finally reach that plateau of success, because I don't have to worry about so many people. But at the end of
Right.
the day, it's just a realization
Right.
that I had to come to and accept.
And
I
that's
want to.
true. This is a lonely journey. I'm not gonna come right back to you, Amy,
Okay.
because I heard your voice. Um, this can be a lonely journey. It can be isolating. You can be misunderstood because bold also means I'm doing things as you said, Natalie, that people may not understand. And to them, again, we back to the dysfunctional normalities. We've created such dysfunctional normals that we don't even know what normal really is sometimes. And so when
Right.
I show up in my bold, and to you, it may seem like, oh, you're doing something that's unnormal, but realistically, it's just normal. I'm now normalizing who I'm called to be. And in the midst of the dysfunction you thought I was, or see, because also I realized in this journey, people hold on to who you were and not to who you became, or not to who you're becoming. And so when they can't see you for who you're showing up to be now, it doesn't make sense to them what you're doing. So that in itself is a bold move, because now they feel like you're stepping into a whole arena of a place that they don't even comprehend, because they're so used to the old you. They want the old you to always show up. They want the old you to always come and be present. But when you do understand, it's like for me, I had an inkling of my purpose in life before, but I never walked in it out of the fear of how it would affect the circles I was in. Because when I start to grow outside of my circle, now that becomes a problem, because I don't hang with them no more, or I don't
Mhm.
get on the same pages as with them no more. I don't go to the same places as I used to go with them, and now I'm acting funny.
Or you
Oh,
think you better than them?
you hear
Yeah, you better than us now.
because
Yeah.
I decided to actually walk in this purpose thing. And so it
Right.
was for a season for me too. It felt like God, like I don't have anybody. Like you
Mhm.
told me to do this by myself. Like, are you for real? Want me to show up by myself? And I can even tell you that for me, I went back to the level of God. All the people that I've helped, all the people that
Ooh.
I've supported,
And now I'm by myself.
It's real.
Right.
And not one person offered a hand or a foot or no, a tail or nothing. So you telling me that this has got to be me and you for real? That can be a very tight and lonely place sometimes. But when you are bold, you still do it despite of. And it goes back to, I know you said it earlier, Amy, and I'm gonna let you have the floor as well.
You're
Your
fine.
circle. Who is it in your circle selection that is the problem, or you have outgrown, but because you have chosen, we oftentimes outgrow places and still want to stay there. It doesn't work. Either you're going to outgrow it and move forward as you're called to, or you're going to find yourself trying to figure it out all over again. And so that's a very rich place, Chantel, to say, I understand that when I make it, I'm still gonna make it regardless. And I'm a good connector too. I can connect you to the next person. That's why I want the move, because for people like you, I know there's people who need your services right to this day. It may not be something I do, but I know that I can connect you. And then to anyone who's watching, I would love to partner with you, because I'm big on partnerships and I'm big on relationships. So we can definitely partner, and I can send some people your way. But that whole feeling like I have to do this alone, because even when me launching this, I talked to some people about it that I felt like, or people I felt like would support me, to only find out that I'm still here by myself, still doing what I called to do. And then all of a sudden, one day I get a phone call, I get a Facebook message from Natalie telling me how a post that I made aligned to some stuff she's been thinking. And then I get another phone call from Shay one day saying, "Hey, I don't know what you're doing this season to have a phone call with her an hour long for her to tell me that she's had a word something similar to what I'm doing since last year." For God to show me that it's people that you're going to be divinely connected to, you just got to move.
Yeah.
But if you keep a closed mouth, we say that so jokingly and so cliche, but a closed mouth really don't get fed. And until you start to partner with the people that are sent to be destiny helpers, you're going to still be wondering what's next. So that's a good one. That's a good one. And I know you had something, Amy. Definitely come chime in real quick for me.
I forgot what I had, but but I kind of want to say this. I don't, and it may not. It'll flow. God,
Of
look, it
course,
gonna
of
flow.
course, of course.
But here's the thing too. And I think it was speaking back on something that Chanel said. Listen, I'm a casino girl. Okay, I like to go to the casino sometimes. Okay, y'all. All right, that's just me. All right. So, if I know, like, if I'm playing a game of roulette and someone tells me 20 is gonna hit, and they are consistently hitting, y'all. They like consistently. They know it. It's there. It's on the boards, back to back, back to back. 9 times out of 10, we're gonna roll with 20, right? We're gonna just take a chance, like, hey, it's consistently, it's in. So here's the thing. That's how I had to start viewing my life. Like through therapy, me and my counselor, we like this. But she had to really like scale back and think about my life, for instance, because I had my son in college. I was 21. High school, went through some stuff with my own identity and things like that. But if you look back over your life and you have a track record of winning, why not bet
Absolutely.
on you?
That
Wow.
You are
That's
the
good.
person. And I've always been the person that my husband and I, we always joke about it. We like, man, it can be one door open and I'm just ready to go in that door. I'm like, it's open, it's my door. And as soon as I get to it, it shuts right in my face. And I'm
Mm,
looking around like, God, it was right there. Like, why
yeah,
wasn't that my door?
right.
But what I have built myself on is finding a window. I just need a little bit of an opportunity. And if
yeah,
I don't see it, create it myself. So that's the boldness. That's the steps that you have to take, even when the circle is not circling, when life is lifing. You hold on to those small gains and you go with that. I saw someone in the chat. It kind of just it fired me up. They said, I'm either up or I'm getting up. Don't be afraid to
That's
fall.
right. I
And
like
that's
that.
yes,
so true.
yes.
Like either I'm gonna win or I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna go another route. So,
That's right.
the circle's important, but also how
Mhm.
you speak and how you show up for yourself too.
Right.
Most
Absolutely.
definitely. And the mental capacity of it all. Like one thing I've learned, and this is even to the circle conversation, my capacity is not the capacity of those that I'm with. And I
Yeah.
can't expect them to be on the same level of capacity unless they've already exceeded me in this game. And so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it does go to show who you have with you. has to either be growing you, because I'm in a season of growth. I mean, I'm in a season of cut you off, no hard feelings. I love you to life. But if you're not growing with me, what are we doing? And this moving state and the whole purpose of the move and why he said move is because I have found myself in places of being stagnant and not even stagnant, loyal to things that I should no longer be loyal to. And because I've embedded my loyalty in those things, I lose focus. My therapist talked to me about my value. What do I value, Janae? Not what you value of others. I always want to make sure everybody else is good. But what is the thing that you value the most? And in that, what is it that you're called to do? And then you will find yourself disassociating yourself from things that you have been super loyal to, that in essence, you should have been let go 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. It's just like I was listening to a sermon the other day, and when Pastor Mike said it, it made sense. When God came to that tree and he wanted fruit from that tree, and there was no fruit bearing from that tree, he cursed it. Why did we keep standing under the same trees and holding on to the same trees that no longer bring us fruit? They're just there for pretty perfection. We don't need pretty life no more. You can stand there and look good all day long, but what are you pouring into me? How are we growing together? My mentor says, "Breaks closer together to grow." So how are we growing together? And I think this season of making bold moves and showing up no matter what, in spite of, showing up at all costs. Like I said, this is an urgency. The move is my urgency. What is the urgency
Right.
in your guys' life?
I want to add something to that too, Janae. One of the things is I'm just coming out of that season as well, where God was showing me that there is a such thing as ordained rejection. The point of it is to point us back to Him. He doesn't want us a part of every scenario and every
That
situation.
is
And so what I
wow.
began to do was not only thank God for open doors, but thank Him for closed doors as well.
Yes.
Um, we have to learn that our life is not our own. We belong to Him, right? And this is my personal for me. But we all belong to Him, really. But whether you ascribe to it or not, we belong to God. And when you go, you have to go back and understand that He is being the Omega, Alpha and Omega, knowing the end from the beginning. This whole journey, this whole thing, we really can't do outside of God. And so when we try to connect to certain things and certain people, and we wonder why this is happening and that's happening, it's all working for a greater purpose, every bit of it. And even though there's pain associated with it, is because at some point we decided to not go God's way. And I'm speaking I'm the choir, the pulpit, the audience, I'm everything. I'm speaking to myself. And there's times when I knew and I still proceeded. And there was some pain that was associated with that because I went outside of what God told me to do. And so that's where the rejection, the abandonment, the everything else that comes along with that. And so what I had to do was I had to pull back and say, okay, God, because you did all of that for me to get back in your face, to get realigned, to find out what it is that I'm supposed to do. And so it's in those spaces that rejection sometimes is good. It's good. It's great because the rejection that I received over there is what brought me to this room here.
Wow.
You know, finding Amy, reconnecting with you, Janae,
Yeah.
Natalie. You're sweet, and then you too. Jesus, Chantel, your name is so close to mine. I always want to call you Chanel, but you know, yeah. And so this is it's all working for a greater purpose, is because God is working it out because He wants to point us in the direction. In that direction, we will find as long as we keep pushing, we keep moving, like you said, keep making those bold moves and keep just journeying, just enjoying and understanding that it is a journey. It is a journey. What are we running for? Relax. Better is better.
That is right. And so to the next point, which I have a couple of more questions, and then we're going to do a fine roll call with all of you guys. Again, thank you guys so much. And for everyone that's tuning in and leaving comments, I'm loving the comments that we're seeing. I'm going to try to go through some of those before we end tonight as well. My next question to you is, how did you know that the time was now? And have you ever came to a moment where it was not yet? I'm gonna say that again. How did you know? How did you discern between now is the time for you to do it? Or have you ever been into a place where it was not yet? And I start with Chantel since I see you in my lower corner. How did you know that the time was now? How did that resonate with you?
Well, I've been doing a lot of inner work for, I say it really started in 2017. really in 2015, but really intentionally when I knew what I was doing, I knew it was, work and healing was 2017. And it's been a long journey of getting to know myself, becoming more self-aware, being self-accepting of who I am and what I, have been called to do and be. It's been years of therapy. It's been years of forgiving and all those things. And I knew that doing all of that, I wasn't doing it just to do it. I was doing it to push myself forward to the next thing. And all of those steps that I have taken and that I continue to take because I do feel that healing is continual. Um, that has allowed me to know that it's time to move now. And even the growing up that I've done, that emotional maturity that I have allowed to set in my spirit and really embody, that really furthered my yes to do it now and to do it even more unapologetically when it came to my boundaries, when it came to my standards and the structure of my life and my business.
And that's good. And I like that it's a continual healing is a continual journey. If we are real and transparent with ourselves, there are still places and spaces within each of us and all of us that we're still saying, let me work that out. I get a little hot headed and sometimes I get a little agitated because I sometimes want things to go that I think they should go. And when they don't, I get a little testy. So I even in that I'm learning to just the grace, just give it grace. It's gonna work out. Someone put it in the chat, Romans 8:20. It's gonna work out. At the end, in the end, it's going to.
Always.
So I love that. I'm gonna go around this way. So I see Natalie is my next. What? How did you know that the time was now, Natalie? How did you know that you had to come into this place now?
Well, because I just felt like I'm constantly misunderstood. And I'm in a season of my life where I understand myself so perfectly that it's just time to reveal the things that I've come to know, that I understand, that I believe, that I trust. And, so much in the world, just in the world of people who are just so much is going on. And to now that I know that I understand so much more, it was just time for me to just really stand on what I understand and start moving in that direction. Like maybe I am misunderstood, but I understand why I move the way I move. And now it's just time to show up.
Love that. Amy, what about you? Like, how did you know the time was now?
I knew the time was now because through this journey I removed myself from it.
Hmm.
Um I didn't wait to gain the confidence that I needed. I grew through fear. So right now it's not really about me. It's about the purpose behind it. It's about how God has made me where I am. And like I said before, I always give a disclaimer like, yeah, I'm nowhere near perfect, but I often pray for guidance and for courage and for clarity. And I just been able to trust the process in the meantime. Um, Also, I had always had a problem with being vulnerable. Like I did not want my pain and my setbacks to be on display. But now the same pain, the same setbacks, it makes me relatable. So when I go and I speak, I'm speaking for I'm speaking for those that are scared to be vulnerable. So that's when I know that greater self is not only just what I do, is who I am as well. So just being able to share my story, and you guys, it's crazy because I don't think I've never shared this. I've told my husband, but I remember taking public speaking like twice in college. When I was a little girl, I had to take speech classes. Like I thought it was just the worst and the most embarrassing thing. And when I got to corporate, I was like, "Oh my God, I hope they don't call me in a meeting." And I went from feeling that way to being in boardrooms, and I'm like, and that's why I was, I brought up the syndromes. Like I used to walk in rooms, I was like, "Man, what am I doing in here?" But it then grew into like, girl, why not you? Like when I'm talking, like this is who I am. And that what made my career what it is, because just being, vulnerable and relatable, but using it now in my business to help women. Like, I did a keynote at LSUS, and I'm in a room with leaders, but I'm giving them a purpose birthing plan. I'm telling them about different stages and being able to relay that message, and then coming back looking at me like, girl, you displayed your vulnerability. So just being able to do that is, I'm more in line with, who I am. I don't have to be loud. I don't have to seek attention.
Wow.
I'm carrying just my business and who I am. And yeah,
Oh,
just being able to get that even to my son, y'all. My son, I know we were talking about son earlier. Like, I've never met a kid that speaks life into situations.
ooh,
Even, as a mom, you scared, you be like, oh my God, I don't know if he's gonna get that or not, But to every single time consistently he speaks it, he go get it, he works hard and he gets it. It awakes something in me. And I'm the mom, I'm witnessing what your thought process, what your actions do. And that's what I try to present with a greater self. So that's how I knew the time was now, and the time is going to be now and in the future too. It's just,
That's it.
who I am.
That's
Yeah.
it. And yesterday Chantel said like she's raising boys. She wants her boys to see this version of her life. This version.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm going and getting it. I'm making it happening for I'm successful because I consistently showed up for me. So yes, I get it. I definitely understand.
And
And
can
go ahead.
I'm sorry. And can I just say when she said, we don't have to be loud on the microphone. You remember when I was telling you, like, I used to always think I had to be on the microphone shouting. I'm like, this is not me. And it doesn't have to be that way, but that was the image in my mind. Like, I had to be, no, and I've always felt like I'm never going to be this woman. So how am I supposed to show up when I don't even feel like I'm not that woman?
But you can
So to
have
hear,
round tables like this and talk your way
right,
out of it.
right,
That's
because
what we're
I
here for.
never can, I just never saw myself in that space. So that
'Cause-
was a huge identity crisis for me to know, because I thought I had to be, and because I
yeah.
couldn't align to it, it was really a challenging place and time for me.
Baby, the subject and verbs and not gonna agree over here, but I'm gonna give you a time and I'm gonna speak life into you every step of the way. But it's not gonna be perfect at
That
all.
is
That's how I
exactly right.
feel.
And if we were
Yeah.
protected people, how can we actually tell a story?
Right,
So
Yeah.
absolutely. It wouldn't
that's
even, yeah, it
and
just
each
wouldn't
of you
even,
in your own recourse has a story. Like
yeah.
I mean, I would love. I can't wait. And that's I was gonna wait to the end. We're gonna say it here too. Once the
mhm,
move is completely up, I would love for you guys to come back and host master classes just in your fields of what you do on a daily basis. And so for those
mhm.
things, our master classes or membership only, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I would love for you to guys to do because each of you, I could even just in this moment, I can see how you guys could be a total package, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Because there's different areas you're speaking to that one person about where to come. I have professionals who are looking to get into professions or women who are just looking to find themselves, coaches. I yeah, I see that. Just how you guys flowed and talked today and just what I can hear. Like what about a mom group that you guys can speak to the moms who are trying to figure out how do I do this and be a mom at the same time? How do I have a full-time business, but I'm a full-time mother and I have to support and go and do and be.
Hmm.
I can even see those type of classes because there are so many women who are coming into entrepreneurship and also are
Hmm.
who are mothers. How to find the balance to do the both, but not get burnt out because
Right.
I can also see that people get burnt out in
Yeah.
some in respect. So how can we speak to that whole mantra of everything? Shay, I'm going to ask you to answer that same question, and then I'm going to go into one last question, and then we'll do final reflections. Okay?
Yes. For me, what happened was I was kind of like pushed into it, if you will. It was like God was like, all right, enough. Because one thing he knows about me is I'm going to do what he says. And so what happened was, anybody who just a little brief history about me, I had quite a bit of transition happen, and half of my family passed away in like a 4 year span. I lost my late husband, my first husband of 20 years in 2018. And then 4 years later, I lost my twins 3 weeks apart. And so I dealt with a lot of grief and a lot of that, and still dealing with it, to be honest with you. Like you said, it's a journey. Um, but one of the things that happened for me was I had women that were calling on me who had lost their husbands. And at first, it brought a high level of anxiety for me because what am I supposed to say? Why are they calling me? And I remember the first time the first one called me, and I called my best friend. She's from New York, and she's very direct. She was like, "Show up, kid. You gotta show up. You gotta say something." And I was like, "I don't know what to say. Da, 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 oh my gosh!" And what was happening is that I started to feel the pain of what that woman was feeling. In the event, I got off the phone with her and I was like, okay, okay, okay. And I went and I prayed and God, I was like, God, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And he said, show up and open your mouth and I'll say. And so I was like, okay. And so I did for that first one. Everything went well. And then someone else lost their husband. And it was just like these things just kept happening and popping up to where they were calling on me to come and speak a word to them, minister to them, just be a source of comfort for them. And so once it started happening over and over again, I was like, okay, okay, God. And he's giving me specifically what I need to be saying to them as in the moment. And so um it was kind of thrust upon me. And then from there it just kind of took its legs. It was like, okay, Chanel, it's time for you to rebrand, step back out, be what you've always been, because I'm an encourager. Don't worry about where you lack because I'm big on authenticity. Be yourself because there is a people for your voice. And so once you acknowledge that and you understand that, all the things that you're telling other people, it's time for you to live that up for yourself. It's time for you to come forth, come out, and come and be who God called you to be. And back to what everybody's saying, just for me, it's all about authenticity, being real, being raw. Don't worry about being perfect. Better is better. I'm journeying as well. I'm walking this thing out. And so I never come from a place of like, I know I may have some experience that may be a little bit ahead of your experiences, so I'm able to pull you through, which is what we're supposed to do. But I never want to be in a place where I feel like I've arrived and I got it all together because
Absolutely.
for somebody like me, who may feel inadequate, that just makes them feel worse. That makes Okay, I wasn't sure because it went out a little bit. So you want to make sure that you're relatable, like you said before, Amy. Being relatable is everything, and that's one of my strengths is being relatable. And so it was thrust upon me, and I stepped to it, and it brought me here.
Yes, I love it. I feel like I'm gonna snap for all of y'all for at this point. So this will be my final reflection, and again, thanks to everyone who joined in with us today. I will tell you that the roundtable is going to come back next month, and we're just going to keep rolling with the notion of aligning, elevating, and impacting. But our final reflection is two things. The first one is, what is one truth that you guys want to leave with the audience today that you want them to hold on to? That's the first part. And the second part is, when you stop choosing comfort, you finally what? Finish that sentence. So the first part is, what's one truth, just it could be just one little simple statement that you want the audience to hold on to as you're there departing. And then we'll go to the second part of that question. So I'm going to start up top with you, Chanel, come back around. So that'll be Chanel, Amy, Natalie, and Chantel.
Okay, one truth that I want people to walk away with. Um, I think we kind of hammered it in throughout. It's just, and that's my whole thing is that it is a journey. It is a journey, and you are the assignment.
Okay.
Um, take time, give yourself grace. Don't be so hard on yourself, and understand that better is better.
Better is better. What about you, Amy? What's one truth that you want to leave today? I think you're muted, Amy. Unmute yourself.
Sorry, y'all. One truth that I will leave would be move with intentions and not desperation. Um, I had to learn that again the hard way, but just being more intentional with what's aligned to who I am, what feels like the right thing, not just to be
Yeah.
on display or to be seen, but to move with true intentions, and just don't
Mhm.
be desperate for everything. Boldness will cost you, like we stated, it will cost you people, it will cost you your comfort zone. But you got to know that you're going to gain that peace and that alignment and that legacy out of it. So that was what I would leave with.
I love it. Love it. Natalie, it's on you.
Um, I would say the truth I want to leave with is, I guess it's just going back to being misunderstood and understanding that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. And so when you're really being who you are, walking your journey, stand in that and own it. And you're going to be misunderstood. I feel like we all are. And I feel like that's okay because, like I said, just because someone else is saying we should be something, that's not the truth. And just to really stand in what you are, even when it looks like, what is she doing? Like, even when you get those looks, because we've all had that moment in our lives. I really would just encourage everyone just to stand in who you are and just never deviate from that.
I love it. Mrs. Chantel.
So the thing is, my mom brain has kicked into overdrive. So can you please repeat the question?
No problem. What is one truth that you will want to leave with the audience today?
Oh, thank you. Okay. I want to let them know, don't worry about missed opportunities because they're always going to come back. And I also want to let you guys know, when you get the opportunity to do something that you know is 1000% aligned with what you're called to do, please do it.
I
Do it
love
scared, do it hungry. I'm kind of hungry right now, but do it in any state that you're in, and you know that's
Absolutely.
what you're supposed to do.
Thank you
Hmm.
guys. And so if you had to finish this sentence, it doesn't have to be anything long. When you stop choosing comfort, I finally blank. What would be that finishing statement for you? When I stop choosing comfort, I finally.
Worried about what it looked like and just focus on what it felt like and if it felt right or wrong.
Okay, I stopped worrying. Anybody else has one?
I would say I have clarity,
You
because
had
comfort
clarity.
can keep you a little blind, to keep you blind to the things that you really should be doing. So
Nice.
getting in that little uncomfortable place, it can help you be like, okay, I see why I was holding on to the comfort so much, but I also see what I need to be doing.
That's true.
Absolutely.
That is true. Amy or Shay?
I would say I finally found joy. Just, joy can't be easily taken from you, no matter what you're going through, what you're lacking, what you're gaining. Just the joy of just having this calling, this blessing over my life to be able to do what I want to do, how I want to do it, how I want to present it. That's what I found. So just outside of that comfort zone was the joy that I have now and
That's
able to share.
that's good. And Shay, end it for me. What would you say that you have finally what?
Peace, purpose, and fulfillment.
That's good. Peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Joy, doing it scared, showing up no matter what, and knowing that I'm going to be misunderstood. And it's okay. Thank
That's
you,
okay.
ladies. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Thank you. Give
You are
these guys,
welcome.
give yourselves a hand clap for just showing up today. Thank you,
Great job,
ladies.
ladies.
Thank to our audience
You're
who tuned in with
welcome.
us, watched with us, left comments with us. Thank you, and thank you. Thank you to my panelists. You can definitely connect to the move if you are watching on YouTube. We are the move on Facebook. Come over, join us. If you eventually want to go into membership status, we do have a private group. And in our private group, we do challenges every 2 weeks. I have not given them a challenge this week, these last few weeks, because I have been preparing for this to happen. But we will be back on our challenges, and we do challenges that really do challenge you in the area of
Mhm.
the aligning, the elevating, and the impacting.
Mhm.
also go to you personally so we can be transparent. We are in a collective of fostering transparency. Like we come in there and say today is just not the day. I didn't feel it. It was I woke up. It,
Right.
I'm not right. Nothing came together for me like I thought it would. And just being honest to know that you have a whole support people in there already ready to give you all the quotes that they can find to make sure that
Hmm.
you go back and get back on topic. So
That's
make
right.
sure that you do follow us if you want to join the move as well. I want you to be able to connect with these individuals on this platform because they may have something you need. And so before we close out, can you guys please share your socials so that people know how to get connected and how to follow with you? You guys, I am going to do a recap of the video and put all their socials in the recap, but I still want them to say it here so that you guys can definitely get connected with them. So just start. Anybody, whoever want to start, just go ahead and throw it out there, your social information, or um, put it in the chat if you're close to the chat to type it, or however you want to do it.
That.
To get your daily doses of inspirational posts and motivation, you can follow us on Instagram at greater underscore self. Shout out to my husband, Greg. I know I love my husband. Yeah. Okay. Uh,
Hey, Greg, I don't know if she told you, but I do have something coming that I definitely think I want you to be a part of. I know that you're listening, so please,
yeah.
please, please stay tuned because I want to get the men. I want to have the men talking as well. So definitely make sure you get connected. But go ahead.
He's definitely on here.
I knew he
Also, my
was. He not far.
yeah,
Hey,
he ain't for
Greg.
it all. That's
He
my boo.
never is. I know.
So greater underscore self on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Amy dot young greater self. You guys, we are so excited. We have our podcast coming out every week, Greater Talk. Also, everybody knows that I had a lash line, Lash City 318. We have combined those. We're doing a combination now. So products are coming soon. And yeah, go visit us at www.greaterselfcoach.com. That's where all my information is at, and I'm ready to work with you guys. I don't do a lot of one-on-one coaches because it takes up a whole year time, but also book me for your motivational speaking and also some group coaching. So
But
that's it
she
for
Nice.
me.
is doing a vision party for those people who live in Louisiana, and for those who will watch the replay. She
Yeah.
does an annual vision board party. You should get
Yes.
connected with that because I think that's also a good way to push you into purpose. So for all
Yeah.
those who are in the Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, Bossier, anywhere in Louisiana, if
Around the
you can
area.
get to her, get there
Yeah.
Nice.
and be a part of that. So
Yeah.
most
Thank
definitely.
you. Thank
And anybody who's next?
I am Natalie Collier. Facebook is the best way to probably get to me. Natalie Collier is my personal page. I have a business page, Kingdom Sent. It's Kingdom SCENT, Kingdom Sent. I'm rebranding that whole business, rebranding the vision. I have Wear Your Crown Journey, where we're really gonna just be diving into um, thinking the thoughts that God has told us to think and really empowering ourselves and thinking empowering thoughts. So, Wear Your Crown on Facebook, Kingdom Sin on Facebook, and Natalie Collier to stay up for updates because they are coming. So, thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all for sharing. I appreciate this space. I honestly, I truly do. This means a lot. So, thank you all.
Nat. Nat is one of our admins over in the booth too, so just come over there and hang out with her sometimes. And to the marketing queen herself, how can they get in contact
Yes.
with you?
This in here.
So only if you're ready to move with more alignment and less hustle. I can be found on Instagram at the Queen of Digital Marketing. I can be found on LinkedIn because I'm a boss babe. Chantel, ChantelleD. You should search that and find me. And the Queen of Digital Marketing.com, my son. But yes,
That's
connect
where
with
you
me.
go find us. And Shay. Shay is one of our admins over at coaches, admin slash coaches in the move as well. So how can they get connected with you?
You can connect with me on Facebook. My business page is The Gatherers Tribe. And there you'll be able to see everything as it relates to the upcoming release of my book and
Mm-hmm.
my website and everything that goes along with that. I'm excited. And I'm also on TikTok,
Okay.
Gathering the Fragments on TikTok. I do not have an Instagram yet. I'm working towards it.
And I am the founder, guys. My name is Janae Douglas, and I'm just so happy that all of you guys came here. Again, if you want to know about more about the move, what we do at the move, and how you can be connected to the move, please make sure that you reach out to us. In the recap that I will do, I will add a link because we are going to start memberships next month. And so if you want to join us, and our memberships are just going to be more detailed. Again, we have a team that's willing to walk with you on this journey or whatever that journey looks like. And it's broken out into different sections, whether it's professional, whether it's personal, or whether it is just a spiritual journey that you want to be on. We have people already ready, and there are people coming in to align with you in whatever way you need to make sure that you can find your purpose partners here at the move. So that information will be listed. And if you want to just learn about what we are and what we do, all of that is coming soon, guys. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So we will offer these free conversations with the roundtable. But there's just some conversations that's not going to be privy to the public. You got to be members to get that conversation. And I know I have these ladies coming back to offer some private conversations because we want to touch people one-on-one. It's one thing. Another thing that brought me to this move was we go to so many learning brunches and all the things, but who's still remaining accountable? We'd rather spend 10,000 to go somewhere than to support the people right in our backyard who said, I'm willing to give the best of me here. And so, God, a word was given to me, and I know it to be true, that I will bring people to a stage that no one has heard of, but that's what they need. And I know in this season of life, these women that you see here is what you may need. So make sure that you're connected to them, supporting them, blowing their pages up. Like Amy said, if you need speaking engagements, if you're trying to find yourself again, talk to Chantel, or talk to Shay. If you need somebody who's going to walk you through marketing and really show you how to be smart with your marketing, then get over there with Chantel. And if you just want to learn that you can be a better self, whether it's in your aroma life or what you think about yourself, and you're wearing on a t-shirt to remind yourself, talk to Natalie. I want you to make sure that you're connected to these women. And I'm so grateful to have them a part of my life and what I see going forward. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are going to wrap here. Don't forget to share the replays, watch the replays, connect with these ladies. And as always, find yourself in great alignment, better elevation to make a great impact. Love you all.
Bye, everyone.